Hello there, thank you very much for joining me. Today's lesson is about the last tense of past tense series and it is past perfect continuous यानी माजी के काम के मुतल्लक जो कभी जारी हुआ और ख़त्म हो गया. It's sometimes very confusing tense because it confuses in different ways. The first way is the work was going on, then it's finished. But how we can identify when the work was going on, when it's finished? So actually, let's move to the whiteboard to understand the basic rule for this sentence. Past perfect continuous tense. Normally, it is used with a combination of past simple similar to past perfect, जिसमें अगर tense का दूसरा sentence का दूसरा हिस्सा था and we tried our best to translate it according to the rules, यानी पहले हिस्से में past perfect था, second में past simple था. The similar notion will be applied in this tense as well, but not at every stage. So past perfect continuous, it actually shows an action was going on in the past. ये तो हमारे लिए clear है कि something was going on or continue in the past before another past action. यानी किसी भी एक्शन के होने से पहले एक और काम जारी था. Quite confusing. So let me explain. Past perfect continuous mean an action was going on before another action started. This means an action was going on, it's completed. Then another action started and both have links with each other. You can say one shows an action and the other part shows the consequence or related consequence. I do not mean actual consequence, I mean that one part shows that something started happening in the past while a related activity was adopted to do afterwards. यानी पहले एक काम कंटिन्यू हुआ और फिर उसी से रिलेटेड एक काम बाद में हुआ और दोनों एक दूसरे के साथ जो है वो कोरिलेट करते हैं, एक दूसरे को एक्सप्लेन करते हैं. लेट्स मूव बिकॉज प्रैक्टिकल जो है वो शायद ज्यादा बेहतर तरीके से हमें समझने में आसानी दे. इसकी फॉर्मेशन बड़ी सिंपल है. इसमें सब्जेक्ट है, उसके बाद हैड जैसा कि पास्ट परफेक्ट में था. इसमें एक चीज का एडिशन है बीन का. हैड के बाद हम बीन यूज करेंगे एंड आफ्टर बीन वी विल बी यूजिंग फर्स्ट फॉर्म ऑफ वर्ब विद आईएनजी जो कि पास्ट परफेक्ट में नहीं था, वहां पे थर्ड फॉर्म थी. लेकिन पास्ट परफेक्ट कंटिन्यूअस में हम जो है वो फर्स्ट फॉर्म ऑफ वर्ब लगाएंगे बीन के बाद टू गिव अ सेंस ऑफ कंटिन्यूटी की एक्शन को जाहिर करने के लिए. और अगर हमने नॉट लगाना है तो हैड और बीन के दरमियान में वी विल बी प्लेसिंग नॉट इन बिटवीन हैड एंड बीन टू मेक आवर सेंटेंस नेगेटिव. एंड सिमिलरली if we want to make something interrogative, we will be placing had in the beginning, then subject, then being, and then first form of verb with ing. Please remember, इसमें दो चीजें बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट हैं. एक तो लेंथ ऑफ पीरियड भी बाद सेंटेंसेस में दिया गया है और एक में स्पेसिफिसिटी ऑफ टाइम जो कि पिछले हमने सिंस और फॉर का इस्तेमाल है इसके लिए. Since actually it denotes specific time, starting point of something, starting point of an action. In contrast, for is used for length of time. Length of time can be 2 days, 3 days, 4 days without mentioning a particular day. And time period, ये time period के बारे में हो सकता है 1 साल, 2 साल, 3 साल इस तरह. अब हम सेंटेंस में जाते हैं और उससे पहले ये मैं बताना चाहूंगा एज आई मेंशन earlier in the video that these sentences have two parts. The first part will be translated according to past perfect continuous and the second part will be translated according to past simple, I mean subject plus second form. So let's move before getting confused. This is the sentence. She had been studying for 2 hours before the exam started. Now look at this. She is our subject, had been our auxiliary form, Study is a form of verb with ing. She had been studying for 2 hours. This means that she had been studying for 2 hours before. यानी वो 2 घंटे से पढ़ रही थी इससे पहले the exam started, कि एग्जाम शुरू होता. This part of a sentence shows that she was already working on something, on study. So this means this was going on, this was continue. And this is present past indefinite, the exam started. This part of a sentence indicate that exam is another activity and studying is another activity, and she was preparing for the exam, but before the exam started she was already preparing. यानी इम्तिहान शुरू होने से पहले वो पढ़ रही थी या पढ़ रहा था. This means an action was already going on before another action took place. जैसा कि मैंने शुरू में कहा था कि action was going on in the past before another action took place. यानी दूसरा काम स्टार्ट होने से पहले ही कोई काम शुरू था और उन दोनों का आपस में राब्ता है, एक दूसरे के लिए वो कॉन्सिक्वेंस है, एक दूसरे का नतीजा है उनके साथ. If we see the next sentence, they had been playing football when it began to rain. When it began to rain. यानी वो already, they were playing already, वो already खेल रहे थे, वो खेल रहे थे, क्या हुआ? Then the rain started. So first activity is they were already working on something, and what they were working on, they were playing actually, and then the rain started. This means both actions are interrelated. The first action will be translated according to past perfect. They had already been playing football, whatever it is, before it began to rain. यानी बारिश के शुरू होने से पहले, बारिश बाद में शुरू हुई. And we have third sentence, I had been waiting for you before you arrived. This means I was already waiting for you and you arrived later on. आप बाद में आए, मैं पहले इंतजार कर रहा था. So here it was continuing action and here it completed in the past. यानी इस action के बाद. And if we see she had not been sleeping well, वो अच्छा सो नहीं रही थी या उसे अच्छी नींद नहीं आती थी. This is only one part of a sentence. हम इसे इसके मुताबिक करेंगे. She had not been sleeping well. वो अच्छे तरीके से नहीं सो रही थी. कब? मे बी कल से, मे बी पिछले साल से, मे बी 10 साल से. टाइम मेंशन नहीं है. And then it's an interrogative sentence. Had you been studying before the test? क्या आप टेस्ट से पहले तैयारी कर रहे थे? देखिए अगेन, had you been studying, एक काम ऑलरेडी है, स्टडी ऑलरेडी गोइंग ऑन है. बिफोर द टेस्ट स्टार्टेड, टेस्ट बाद में स्टार्ट हुआ. सो दिस इज पास्ट इंडेफिनिट एंड दिस इज प्रेजेंट पास्ट परफेक्ट कंटिन्यूअस. अब इसमें जो देखने वाली चीज है, मैंने ऑलरेडी मेंशन किया इन द बिगिनिंग ऑफ that since is used for specific time or specificity and starting point. For is for time period and length of time. Here is an example. 4. They had been playing for a long time. For a long time. लंबे अरसे से खेले. कितना अर्सा? We do not know. We do not know how long. Before it got dark. अंधेरा होने से पहले. So this means the dark prevailed afterwards and they were already playing. So no specificity of time but length of time. Since, in comparison, since that shows the starting point and specificity. For example, I had been waiting since 5 p.m. before the bus came. I was already waiting. I had been waiting since 5 p.m. This means from 5 o'clock I was waiting. So I had been waiting since 5 p.m. before the bus came. This means the bus came later on. So these are the two parts, and this is how we can use since and for. I'm going to give another exercise at the end of this video for practice that might help you to understand after practicing the different sentences. Thank you.